Hi, Cary. It's spring break, and I was wondering, what's going on at the school farm?
Oh, Mr. Lavasser, I would love to tell you what's happening at the school farm because so much is happening. It's April, and April is a wonderful month because mid-April is the last frost date. So now everything can grow without worrying about being frozen at night, which is what happens in February and March when it gets cold and then plants die. So let me show you what's happening. We have here a fantastic row of tulips and daffodils that we have the fourth graders to thank for. Fourth graders planted these bulbs in the ground in the fall. You always plant bulbs in the fall, and then their roots grow in the winter, and then they bloom in the spring. And look what we have here. We've got some tulips, and here, look at all the different kinds of daffodils we have. So many different colors of daffodils. And right here, I think we only have red tulips, but we have many, many, many different colors of daffodils. So this is our welcoming row of spring bulbs that would be greeting all of you if you were here. We miss you, but we can show you now all the beautiful flowers that are growing. So let's go and look over here at the beds that are right next to where you come in the garden gate. First thing I want to show you is, do you see this? Do you remember this used to be the fence line? And then we took all the grass and patched it? Good job. Look at how well all that grass is growing. So you guys are good grass patchers. Thank you. Now, I want to show you these 5 beds because you walk in there first thing when you come into the farm, and we have some lettuce growing. I'll show you that in a second. This is going to be a spinach bed, and we're going to show planting spinach. Then look at these great peas that students started in January and February, and we planted out. They're doing well, and they're trellised. We'll learn more about that. These are awesome purple sprouting broccoli. Oh, I'm stepping in the bed. Don't do that. Yum. I washed my hands before I picked it. Really, really good. And here is a kale bed. Now, what I want to do is come on over here and check this out. Remember the bed that you dug up along the fence? Well, we showed you this in my welcoming video. Now these peas are really growing well. So look at this whole thing. You dug it up, we trench composted it, and now we're planting peas. On this side of the fence, we're going to plant flowers that attract hummingbirds and bees. And I want to show you something really, really special. You may be wondering, what are these? These are called cloches. C-L-O-C-H-E. Now, a cloche is a French word for a covering that you put over plants. And what does that covering do? What do you think it does? Think about it. Yes, it keeps them warm. They stay nice and cozy inside. The cold winds don't whip them around. And just like our hoop houses, it helps plants grow. So let's look inside our cloche. We planted some broccoli, which is kind of like a cross between broccoli and kale. It's really delicious. And oh my goodness, look at those little babies in there. They love it. They are so happy. They're nice and toasty warm, and the rain goes through, and the wind doesn't whip them around, so we can grow vegetables faster in these cloches. So that's why we have them set up. We've got some kale and some broccoli, and then right over here, let's see how our lettuce is doing. Wow! Oh man, do you see all those cute little lettuces?
Farmer Cary, those look like a tent for plants.
It is like a little tent for plants. And you know how when you're camping outside and you're in a tent, you're sure a lot warmer than if you were sleeping outside without a tent, right? Well, that's what it is. It's a little tent to keep our plants warm. And then when the days get longer and it gets warmer, then we can take this off. But right now, we're using this. It's called a season extender. And what that means is it extends the season. You can grow more earlier in the season, and you can also do it later in the season. Yeah? So this is our lettuce. Now, where shall we go to next? I think we're going to go visit more peas. First, Mr. Lavasser, before we go see the peas, I have something super special I'm so excited to share with everybody. Now, you see all this bolting kale? This is really bolting, but look what just popped out. Our very first kale flowers. Right here, you see those 3 little kale flowers? Now, those are going to make the seeds, right? And all of these little flower heads are going to be filled with flowers, blooming pretty soon. So this is exciting. What's today? The 7th of April, our first kale flower. So now let's walk and see all these fantastic bolting kale. We have a video about that. Little flower starting there. All right, Mr. Lavasser, now I want to show you these pea beds, okay? 4th graders, normally you would have planted these peas and you would be making the trellises, but since you're not here at school, we're going to do it for you, and then you get to eat all the peas that we're going to be growing that you would have grown.
Cary, why are these covers flat against the ground and not tents like the others?
Oh, Mr. Lavasser, that's a great question. Now, this stuff here that we made the cloche out of and we're also using to lay flat is called a floating row cover. Floating row cover. It's actually non-woven spun polypropylene, if you want the fancy description of it, but it's a fabric that you use to either create cloches or to lay over your plants to protect them. Now, we need to protect our peas for the birds. We have planted pea seeds in here, and sprouting pea seeds, oh boy, the robins love them. So if we didn't put this over our peas, we would see all these little holes where the robins ate our peas. So I am protecting these until they grow up. Now, you can also use this to keep the moisture in, so when you're planting carrots, you water it, water goes through and light goes through, and then you can keep your plants moist while they're germinating. But that's another video. Let's look at the peas. So now we have our floating row cover here, and let's see what we have. I got a little rock there to hold it down. Okay, there's the peas that we grew as starts, and right here we ran out of starts, so here's our peas being protected, and here is a row of pea starts. So let's track this bed and see when our peas sprout. We planted these on Friday, the 3rd of April, or the 4th of April. We'll get that date right, okay? So let's see when these sprout. We've got them nice and protected with our floating row cover, so the birds don't eat them, and the moisture stays in, and we can watch our peas grow. Okay, little peas, thank you. Okay, so where shall we go next in the garden? Mr. Lavasser, this is everybody's favorite plant. Look at the sour sorrel, everybody. It's doing so well, and it's missing you too because there's lots of it and there's no one here to eat it. So we're gonna harvest this and send it home in bags for you to eat. This is your sour plant, and I know some of you like chives, okay? Here's a little chive plant. They're in the onion family, and you see those little balls right there? Those are their flowers. They haven't bloomed yet, but pretty soon. Do you remember what color they are? They're that nice pink color, and you can pop them up and eat them, and they're really fun to eat. Okay, let's watch our chive plants. So yeah, sour plant and chives. Let's go see the potatoes now. Oh, and look at our garlic. Isn't that doing great? Yum, we'll have garlic in the summer. All right, let's go to our potato bed. We have started to trench it, and we're gonna have a whole video about potatoes later. So hold your horses. We have our little potatoes. They're actually already starting to sprout, so we need to plant them. So this is going to be a potato bed of macaw ozettes, really good for mashed potatoes. We'll be eating these at the Harvest Feast in November, okay?
Yum.
So we'll do that later, have a little potato video. Now, let's go over and see what our fruit trees are doing. So, Mr. Levasseur, look at this beautiful pear tree. Aren't its blossoms fantastic? This could be a good spring for pollinators and for then fruit. So hopefully we won't get too much wind or too much crazy weather, and all the bees and mason bees will come out and we'll have fantastic pears in the fall when everyone comes back to school. Now that's a pear tree. Look over here. This is a plum tree. What kind is it? It's an Italian prune plum. I love those. Notice, it's a different kind of tree. The leaves are coming out differently, and there's no flowers. Actually, that's a good point. These have leaves and no flowers, but the pear tree has flowers and no leaves. That's kind of cool. Every plant is different. So let's find out when that one gets flowers, and let's find out when this one gets leaves. Now, what are the apple trees doing? The apple trees have leaves. Oh, and you know what apple trees do? Look, they have leaves and little flower buds. So they're different than the other two. So here you have three really different kinds of ways that trees make fruit. Different strategies, they call that, for budding out and getting fruit. Oh, right here are some little pink apple blossoms coming on this tree. So we're going to track these trees and see when they flower out, and then we can follow the formation of their fruit over the course of the season. Okay, now speaking of fruit, we have another delicious fruit that we just planted for you. Let's go look at our new strawberry bed. Oh, wow, look. Mr. Levasseur, do you remember when we made the video about turning grass to garden? And we had just dug this all up and then shaken all the soil off the roots and made it into a bed, and then I planted those little strawberry plants. Do you remember that?
I do remember that, Farmer Cary.
Yeah, well now look, it's only like maybe 2 weeks later or I don't know, less than that, we can check. And look, oh wow, those things, I was thinking, gosh, these are scraggly little things. All they are roots with nothing else. And now look, see that? Those roots are obviously growing really well. And look, it's got leaves. These are strawberry leaves, see? And these strawberries are fall-bearing strawberries. So when you come back to school in the fall, we're going to have strawberries for you. So, Mr. Levasseur, this is really fun. I think that that's about the tour of the garden. One last thing, we have fantastic lettuce and bok choy in the hoop house. And we're going to be bagging that up and delivering it to all of you. Those of you who want it, let us know. So, that's the tour of the garden.
Farmer Cary, I can hardly wait to eat those strawberries.
Oh, well, you're going to have to wait till September, maybe. Or, well, maybe not. We'll see. Let's see when they get ripe, okay?
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Levasseur. It's been fun giving you a tour of the garden. And to all the students, I'm so excited to share this with you. And together we will see how our farm is growing.
Thank you, Farmer Cary.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.